Here's something nobody talks about. The smartest person in any room is almost never the one talking the most. They're the one in the corner, listening, observing, quietly noticing things everyone else completely missed. And the wild part? Science actually backs this up. Genuine intelligence doesn't show up on a resume. It doesn't announce itself at dinner parties. It reveals itself in tiny, almost invisible patterns of behavior. Patterns that most people walk right past every single day. So today, we're not talking about grades, degrees, or IQ tests. We're talking about the real psychological signatures of a highly intelligent mind. And some of these are going to feel uncomfortably familiar. Psychologists have spent decades studying what actually separates high-functioning minds from average ones. And what they keep finding isn't what most people expect. It's not raw knowledge. It's not confidence. It's not even memory. It's a specific set of mental habits, quiet, consistent, and deeply revealing. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what those habits are. And more importantly, you'll be able to spot them in the people around you, and maybe even in yourself. Let's get into it. Sign 1. They ask better questions than everyone else. Most people walk through life collecting answers. Intelligent people collect questions. There's a crucial difference. When someone hands you an answer, your thinking stops. When someone hands you a better question, your thinking expands. Cognitive researchers at Stanford found that high-intelligence individuals spend significantly more time defining a problem before attempting to solve it. While everyone else rushes toward solutions, they slow down and ask, "Wait, are we even solving the right thing?" You've probably seen this in real life. Someone in a meeting reframes the entire conversation with one question. Suddenly, everyone realizes they were looking at the problem completely wrong. That's not luck. That's a trained intelligence signature. Sign 2. They're genuinely comfortable being wrong. This one surprises people every time. You'd think smart people would be obsessed with being right. But the research shows the opposite. Psychologists call it epistemic flexibility, the ability to update your beliefs when better evidence arrives, without your ego getting in the way. Studies from Cambridge University confirmed that individuals who score highest on fluid intelligence are also the most willing to abandon a position they previously held, not out of weakness, but out of intellectual honesty. Think about that for a second. Most people hold onto wrong beliefs because changing their mind feels like losing. Intelligent people change their mind because staying wrong feels like losing. That shift right there is everything. Sign 3. They have an unusual relationship with silence. Here's something worth paying attention to. Next time you're in a group conversation, notice who speaks first when a hard question gets asked. The most intelligent person in the room is often the last one to respond. Not because they don't know the answer, but because they're still checking their own thinking for blind spots. Neuroscience research shows that higher cognitive function is associated with longer internal processing time before verbal response. In plain English, smarter people pause longer before they speak because their brain is running more checks in the background. Meanwhile, everyone else is already talking, and half of what they're saying they haven't actually thought through yet. Sign 4. They notice patterns nobody else is looking for. Intelligence at its core is pattern recognition. Not just in math or logic, but in people, situations, conversations, and systems. Highly intelligent individuals tend to spot the connection between two things that seem completely unrelated on the surface. A behavioral economist sees a stock market crash in a traffic jam pattern. A novelist sees a character arc in a stranger's body language at a coffee shop. This is why intelligent people are often described as weirdly perceptive. It's not weird. Their brain is simply running a deeper scan of the same information everyone else is receiving. Psychologists link this directly to what they call associative thinking, the brain's ability to bridge distant concepts in unexpected ways. And it's one of the strongest cognitive markers researchers use when studying gifted minds. Sign 5. They find ordinary things genuinely fascinating. Most people need novelty to feel interested. Intelligent people can find depth in almost anything. A highly intelligent person can spend 45 minutes completely absorbed in how a traffic light timing system works, not because they're studying it, but because their brain automatically starts pulling threads. Why that interval? Who designed it? What happens if it's off by 2 seconds across a whole city? Researchers call this trait dispositional curiosity, an internal drive toward understanding that doesn't need external reward to activate. And it shows up in a very specific way. Intelligent people tend to rabbit hole. One question leads to 3 more. One answer opens 5 new doors. They're not doing this on purpose. Their brain is wired to keep digging. Sign 6. They regulate their emotions with unusual precision. Here's a sign that almost never makes these lists, and it absolutely should. Emotional regulation. Research in cognitive psychology consistently shows that high intelligence and strong emotional control are deeply linked, not because intelligent people don't feel things deeply, but because they process emotions rather than just reacting to them. When something frustrating happens, the average person reacts. The highly intelligent person observes their own reaction first, almost like watching themselves from the outside, then chooses their response deliberately. Psychologists call this effect labeling, and brain imaging studies from UCLA found that simply naming an emotion as you feel it, "I'm feeling frustrated right now, specifically because of this," actually reduces its intensity in the brain's threat response center. Intelligent people do this instinctively. It looks like calm. It looks like control. But underneath, it's a sophisticated cognitive process happening in real time. Sign 7. They're rarely bored, but often understimulated. There's a difference, and it matters. Boredom is the absence of interest. Understimulation is having too much capacity for a situation that isn't using it. Highly intelligent individuals rarely experience true boredom because their mind fills empty space automatically with ideas, observations, hypothetical scenarios, creative problems. But they frequently feel understimulated in environments that aren't complex enough for them. A meeting that could have been an email. A conversation stuck in small talk. A task that requires zero genuine thinking. This isn't arrogance. It's a cognitive mismatch. And research from the London School of Economics found that individuals with higher measured intelligence actually report lower satisfaction in highly social, low-complexity environments, not because they dislike people, but because their brain needs a certain level of mental texture to feel fully engaged. So here's the psychological truth worth carrying with you. Intelligence isn't a trophy you display. It's a pattern of how you think, how you question, how you listen, and how honest you're willing to be with yourself when you're wrong. It shows up in the questions you ask before you answer, in the pause before you speak, in the curiosity you feel about things that have nothing to do with your daily life. And if several of these signs felt personally familiar, if you caught yourself nodding or thinking, "Yeah, that's exactly how my brain works," that's not a coincidence. That's recognition. If this video gave you something to think about, hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach people who think like you do. Subscribe if you want more psychology content that actually goes beneath the surface. And next, we're exploring why the most emotionally intelligent people are also the hardest ones to read. That one is going to challenge everything you think you know. I'll see you there.